And evidently, Eminem used to come to games and sit in the stands, and he'd wear a mask. Like, he'd go in there and wear like a fucking Halloween mask or something so nobody could see who he was, and he'd just be sitting out there with the players. So I don't know if you could corroborate that rumor at any point, or it'd be a good lead for you to investigate. You can?
I definitely can figure that out.
100%.
Dude, I have so many contacts at Ford Field, and someone has to know.
All right, stepping into the streaming world, Kyle, the Twitching world. You know, you and I, we're big Twitchers. We've been...
You're a supporter of Twitch.
Yeah, I'm a supporter.
I stream. Chris likes to frequent the chat.
Yeah, we'll tell you about that in a second, but we've got Tyler Blevins here, who you know as Ninja. He's one of the most popular dudes in that whole world. Kyle is freaking out. He's on the show. I met Tyler at the ESPYs, and he's got a new podcast coming out, AFK with Ninja. And I learned that means away from the keyboard. So I'm ready to hop in the chat and just not sound like a narc, sound like a real gamer. Tyler, welcome to the show. Really excited to have you here.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Dope
man.
intro. Thank you.
Of course.
The crazy thing, what's doper is your first few guests on your podcast. And as Chris and I are two transitional guys, we used to play football. Now we podcast.
He's
I
holding
do a
a
little
football.
gaming.
Yeah, I love it.
I'm holding a football just to make sure people understand. But like getting into the podcasting gig, you hit 2 home runs early. What are you enjoying about podcasting? What is giving you anxiety about podcasting?
Oh man, I love all of it. I love conversation with good people. So I think that's like what is really enjoyable. I'm also doing like some solo episodes too, and like it's kind of like almost like a meditation, if you will, because I film my solos like super early in the morning on Sunday, like before all the football games, before the madness. So it's like a calm before the storm. Feels great, just kind of chit-chatting. But like what gives me severe anxiety is when I like, first off, getting Matthew on there, and even Jared. Like I met Jared Goff before, even like a couple times. He's a great dude, but it's like I don't want to like. First off, kind of what you guys said, even prefacing before this, like the gotcha moments. Mm-hmm. Like I want that to be like so far away from what people associate my podcast with as well. Like I want it to be like just the most chill, relaxing. We're 2 people just shooting the shit, just getting to know one another, and kind of just sharing stories and stuff like that. That's what I want the podcast to be. But like the nerves come in whenever I get any big guys, because like I don't want to ask a question that's been asked 1,000 times before. Yeah. Like that's one of my biggest things where I ask them like, so what's your favorite thing about acting? And they're just like, like great. Yeah. I've answered this a million times. Uh-huh. This is the cringiest shit I've ever seen. So that's my worry. If someone leaves and they're like, that was awful.
And you know
what? Mine too. I really do. I fucking stress out about that all the time. The guys will tell you, I'm like, he doesn't even want to be on here. Why would that guy want to be talking to me?
That's the worst.
But the truth is, when we go on a podcast, you're trying to have a great conversation with the person who's hosting and put your best foot forward, just like the host is doing. My only tip with Matthew McConaughey, and you've already done the interview, is don't call him Matt. I introduced him as Matt because, I'm a big shorten the name guy. I might have called you Ty off the top. Like it just... but he was like, yeah, you're interviewing me for this book that I just wrote. And one of the chapters is about my mama said, don't call me Matt, call me Matthew. And when I tell you I felt this small and then the tape cut on, he's like, let's get going. I was like, it's like throwing a pick six your first drive at Lambeau or something.
No, dude.
Yeah, but it went great.
Jared did throw an interception the first drive. I was on set filming a commercial, and I hand my phone to because there's no TVs around us. We're outside of a house. There's like no one, and obviously we're filming. So I hand my phone to my buddy, to my assistant Andre. I'm like, Andre, dude, Thursday Night Football, got it on. I'm like, tell me everything. Yeah. Like we're driving. Okay, I had to run over. We start the shoot. We're filming. Like we have like a 10-second break. I sprint over to the 10. I'm like, what happened? He goes, you guys threw an interception. I'm like, you're trolling. He's like, you're trolling. He's like, no. Yeah, the Packers have the ball. I'm like, stop. Like, like I get it. All right, stop fucking around. Like, what happened? And he goes, I swear to you guys threw an interception.
It's gonna be okay though.
I was like, this is the worst ever. I don't get to watch the game, and we already threw a pick. Oh.
But I mean, if I were to tell young Tyler, young Ninja, if I were to be like, the Lions, they're gonna beat the shit out of the Packers at Lambeau.
Yes, sir.
I mean, what would you say?
2023, the year of our Lord.
Amazing.
Yeah.
We love the style of play. What is your
Thank
favorite
you.
thing about Dan Campbell? What's your favorite thing to watch with the Lions this year?
I still have PTSD. Like when I'm watching the Lions game, whenever I just see like a 3 and out, I get the biggest pit in my stomach. It's like, oh, great, here we go again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it happens to every team, so like I really have to stop feeling like that because they're different this year, man, and they look different. They look great. Our defense is making plays. And my favorite thing about Dan, obviously, is everyone's favorite thing about him. He's got the biggest balls in the planet, and I love it, dude. That's what the Lions fans need, right? Like. We like the going for it on fourth downs, very consistent. I feel like a lot of teams in the NFL, I love to see the stat, but I feel like a lot of teams in the NFL are going for it on fourth down way more than they used to in these last couple of years. But like the fake punts, just the balls he plays, dude, he knows that. I mean, he's got this team behind his back, man. And I love it. I love it. You can tell they want to win so much more. Like they're not giving up ever. Playing tough.
Well, you're a true fan because you got the Hawkinson jersey, which I know it means we got the draft capital for this guy, and we didn't have to pay him.
Lions fan.
And like, I think wearing an older jersey that's now defunct to the game gets you clout. Like it gets you street cred in that stadium because they're like, this is a true fan, and it doesn't hurt that you didn't have to pay him, as I said. But like the Dan Campbell point you made. The only time I've complained about Dan Campbell's aggressiveness or lack thereof was a couple weeks ago against Seattle, not trying to win that thing in regulation. I'm like, that's what got us to the dance. I say us because I like the Lions, but that's what got Dan to the dance. If that team just continues to wear that kind of personality on their sleeve, like they'll be all right. Who's your favorite player on the Lions? Is it Jared Goff?
I love Jared. It can only be Jared's. My favorite player. That's a good question, man. Especially since we have so much new blood in and out. I mean,
Not as easy as in years past.
It definitely isn't. It was Jamal Williams. I was very upset that we let him go, but it makes sense. Like his stats were incredible. He was into anime. I love that. And but we were just lining him up, like, giving him freebies left and right. All those TDs. I wasn't too worried. I knew that Montgomery was going to be able to take his place pretty well. But I can truly say that I don't really have one right now, if that's kind of weird.
Keep the options
Oh,
open,
can I
man.
give you one guy to train your eyes on? Because,
sure.
This isn't the sexy pick, but, if we're playing like
Stool.
Overwatch or something, I'm always the tank. I want the guy that ratchets people, brings it to him, and boom, right in the face. This is what Penei Sewell does.
He's been killing it the last couple of games.
Oregon
and I feel like,
Duck, offensive lineman. I just feel like it's a good combo for you. You're a DPS guy. This is your tank.
DPS, of course.
love that.
Damage
When
percentage.
you're 18,
We did the research.
when you're AFK, you're watching the Lions. You want to look at a guy like Penei Sewell. See, I'm picking it up.
He is Dan Campbell on the field.
I love
Dan Campbell's mentality on the field.
I love Penei Sewell. I would say now, if I had to not guess, it would probably be Aiden Hutchinson. I love his energy. He's young. He's a monster. I've never been more excited to watch defense.
Yeah.
Which is like very.
Yeah.
It's not very Lions-esque, right? Like we're like get the ball in Stafford's hands.
Throw it to Calvin Johnson.
Yeah, throw it to Calvin Johnson. Like stay on the field. But now I love watching our defense. So I'll say Hutchinson.
Were you happy for Stafford, like when he
Yes.
left? Because I feel like he's the one guy that the way he left, and just Lions fans know what he went through. It's like,
People's
you know,
champ.
who's not going to cheer for him?
Dude, I think you are. It's how you can tell fake fans apart. Anyone who's like, oh, Stafford should have stuck it out with the Lions, man. My guy was getting slammed, and he still is, by the way, still
right
getting killed. He had that one really good year.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm so happy for him. I love Stafford. I met him one time. It was like I was like, dude, Stafford, I'm a huge fan. He's like, thanks, and then he just kind of, but dude, he's just,
He had a few words.
yeah, dude, he's a humble guy. He's a great guy. I love his toughness, and I'm happy for him at the Rams.
So with the Lions, like you are kind of the most famous Lions fan. If you go by the metrics right now, I don't know who has more. I mean, there's Eminem. There's Eminem. I mean, but like in today's current landscape, for a lot of younger people who love to stream and all that stuff, like they know you. Like, is this a big fraternity? Are there others? Like, or is it just Eminem and you, or are there other celebrity fans that surprise you?
Not that I know of, man. It's real quiet over here in Detroit. Yeah, no, it really is. We have just no one massive. I think like now we're starting to you'll probably start seeing people come out of the woodwork, right?
Exactly.
They're a new America's team.
A new
They're
America's team.
Come on, baby, dude, the grit of Detroit. That's what I love to see. I'm sick of Dallas. Can we all
Let's bring
just say
the
that real
auto,
quick, team?
bring the factories back, bring the auto industry back, bring the Lions back.
Speaking of Dallas, I got to bring up our guy Tim. Okay, because
come on, baby.
I've obviously been following you guys for a while, and I love the personalities between you, Doc, Tim, everybody, and you guys have done a great job. You've put the industry on your back the last few years. How do you expect this thing to continue to change? And do you expect him to be a dumb Cowboys fan for the rest of his life?
Yeah, I do. Are you talking about the how do I see like streaming going?
Yeah, how do you see this thing continuing on in terms of you're moving into podcasting? Tim obviously is still massive in the space. Yeah. We've seen Doc off the field, so to speak, and on the golf course without his getup on. These are guys we know by their silhouettes, you included, and you can see it on the back wall. How do you think we're going to continue to be introduced to you guys, particularly outside of gaming?
Yeah, I think like literally everything you just said. Like I've been getting into golf pretty heavily too. So is Tim. So like probably more like throwback sports hybrid stuff, right? Where it's like pro-ams and things like that. And the sports side of things, for me, it's podcasting right now, and I love that. I think Tim and Doc have messed around and talked about getting a podcast together. So I think that it's like from a content standpoint, that's definitely like the future of kind of being able to sit down, record a bunch of episodes, work real hard, and then like play a lot later. Whereas streaming right now really it's like, I always used to say I envied YouTubers, right? Because YouTube, you could sit down for like 2 or 3 days, crank out like 20 videos, dude. Just like have great ideas and just pump out these videos and then sit back and just upload them, once or twice a week, whatever your schedule is. And then you can do whatever you want. Whereas streaming, you have to be there all the time, all day. So if you want a lot of content, it's 8 hours, 6 hours, and you're there. It's not pre-recorded. It's tough. So yeah, I think like a lot more light on the you need to be there type of content. That's where I see us going more than likely. And then as for Tim being a Cowboys fan, dude, you guys, dude, you would have wanted to have paid money to be there when the Cardinals won, because number one, I predicted it. I called it out at my sports show with my brothers and Kurt, and then to be there to watch him smoking his cigar, being like, I had halftime, like, how about the Cowboys?
And we love Tim, Of course we do. But I love to hate Tim.
Yes, dude. There's nothing greater than seeing the life just kind of drain from his eyes when the Cowboys just inevitably throw that. Dak throws that inevitable interception, or it's just like, what is their defense doing? So, it's awesome.
I feel like Cowboy fans lead the league in broken TVs. Like they just
probably they're aggressive fans.
They are aggressive and they like to break stuff. I hate buying tickets. I've been playing my whole life, never had to worry about buying tickets. The ticket part is stressful. The game's stressful. The ticket part's really stressful. Buying tickets to your favorite events shouldn't be stressful. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater near you. With killer deals on last-minute tickets and their best price guarantee, you can stop stressing over tickets and start getting hype for the fun you'll have. And with the Game Time app, it's easy to find and buy tickets for every kind of event in your area. If I'm trying to see the monster trucks for my kids or Willie Nelson for me and my kids, I can find it all in the Game Time app. Game Time's the place for last-minute ticket deals. Forget planning months in advance. Game Time has the deals on tickets right up to the day of the event. Get exclusive flash deals on tickets for football, basketball, baseball, concerts, comedy, theater, and more. The Game Time guarantee means you'll always get the best price. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Snag the tickets without the stress with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code GREENLIGHT for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code GREENLIGHT for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. My question to you would be, with the amount of work you do, I think, like, I know you do some work with suicide prevention, like you focus on mental health. Like, how about for the the gamers themselves, like people who are making content in the industry. How easy is it to get burnt out and just to be visible, like constantly under criticism, to be shit talked, to be like nobody's gonna feel bad for you because you get the world by the balls, man. But you've earned it, and there's work that comes with that. And then I'm sure there's some nights where you're like, I've had enough.
Yeah, it's tough, man. I think now more than ever too, on just the internet side of things, it seems to be like pretty repetitive content, like and like predictable, I guess, is better than repetitive. Like, you know, a post comes out, you get a lot of hate for it or a lot of love. You know, you do something stupid, people try to cancel you. Like, you come out with an apology video or some sort of apology, and then you fast forward. Now, you know, it's like rinse and repeat. It's like a drama cesspool, which is what I'm trying to get away from with my show as well. Is like keep it chill, keep it relaxed, keep it fun, and get, you know, a break from, you know, a mental break really from the online drama that is just every single day. I feel like all over my, you know, newsfeed, Twitter, or X or whatever you want to call it. And the burnout's tough, man, for streamers too. I mean, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of negativity in the space.
I mean, like just on the internet, period. Now, but anytime I used to go into his Twitches and like I'd have an alias and start fucking with him. Like he would have no idea it was me, and I'd, you know, because I didn't really understand the concept and everything, and I'd go in there. But like there are real people in there that they live to antagonize and to troll, and you know, like I think the hardest thing for a content creator is to be relatable enough to engage with people and to be regular, but then it's easy to get sucked into these, you know, back and forth with people, and it always ends with them saying, I win, you're coming down to my level. Yeah. Which is like, the game's rigged, so it's almost better to stay out of it. I was gonna ask you, has streaming ruined children for you? Because I feel like they are their worst selves. I
love that.
You know, like,
oh, you're not wrong, bro. It's usually the, you know, well, the one, but you could tell though. You could tell like the dumb shit talkers online, like right, like they'll say like the very predictable stuff. Yeah. But those are the only people that talk shit to me in real life. Like, you want to talk about like my cringest moments? It's like when a kid will just be like, "I'll shit on you in a 1v1." It's like, really, buddy? You know,
1v1 Rust.
Right.
Rust. I might fuck you.
You
up
remember Rust?
Remember Rust?
Okay.
Kyle, I run Rust.
Commando Pro.
I'm like the mayor of Rust.
Do you guys have a record against each other? Or do you
no,
we don't.
I don't play enough anymore with the 3 kids thing. Again, kids ruining gaming.
I mean, I've got a room I pretty much live in my house with a
he's got the whole thing. He climbs in there.
Yeah, bro.
I saw your gaming setup.
I'm
His is pretty good
I'm into
too.
iRacing, and which is, you know, a racing simulator. I've got a cockpit at my house.
I know exactly what that is.
You know, I've seen Star Citizen, and I've got a Thrustmaster, HOTUS. You know,
a Thrustmaster.
I've got the Warthog.
Hey, that sounds. You might.
But
need
I don't know. But I don't know how to set it up. I don't know how to
gamer.
set it up, Ninja. What I'm saying is, I have some interests that are off the beaten path in gaming.
Yeah.
Do you have any off the beaten path interests in gaming? Are there games that maybe people don't know you play?
That you wish people liked more so you could do it more, you know?
Yes, dude. Okay, so there's 2 games. But everyone knows about one of them. So there's this new game that came out, or it's been out for a while, but it came out on Steam recently, and it was like redone. It's called Digimon World New Order. I'm obsessed with that. I used to play Digimon all the time back in the day on the PS1, and this is like a remake HD version of the game. It's fucking sick. I'm obsessed with it. I put 80 hours into this in like a week. It's a bit of a problem. And then Final Fantasy XI, which is a super old MMO that came out like before MMOs were cool, if that makes sense. Like it's like WoW will pull numbers on Twitch. Like you can be a full-time WoW streamer and pull like 10, 15, 20,000.
Got it.
Yeah. Or like 100,000 viewers if you're Asmongold and it's like a new patch or a new update's coming out or something like that. But Final Fantasy XI, bro, that game just never picked up. It's very boring to watch.
You were talking about Asmongold. Do you like when the Fortnite stuff? Things get unvaulted, you know, every week, and you know, it seems like it's a new game every month. And do you have to feel the pressure to get on there and play and give people what they want?
I do. It's great because it's great for content. It's great for clips on TikTok and Instagram Reels and all those places and YouTube Shorts and like that's like the streaming world, bro. It's everywhere, like for content creation. But the streaming world is it's cutthroat, man. Like if you really want to be good at it, right? If you it's like get there first. Have the coolest clip, you know, or if you're like Cypher or some of my other friends, you do your informative YouTube video where it's like, what's going on, guys? And today we're jumping in with the brand new unvaulted Gigastar.
He's
and
pretty
then
good at that.
I love
He's great.
Cypher too, but that is,
I love him too, man.
all this stuff is great because that's exactly how. I mean, there's so many different genres within the genre
Yeah.
of gaming. It's like an authentic voice, a studio journalist voice.
The intro voice. I
Yeah.
hope we got to bring, because we're doing this right now with our YouTube,
Yeah.
and like any tips are appreciated. But like we're trying to grow the channel. We were late. Like we fucking had the comments turned off for 3 years. We would check every once in a while, and we were like, nobody's commenting. And then one day we were like, oh, we should toggle that on, and we should get serious about YouTube. And now it's kind of blowing up. But like there's the like dead periods where you're like, where's that big pop? And they're telling me I got to do intros. I got to talk to the people. So like, what's the number one thing that we should do if we're trying to grow our YouTube page?
Yeah, I would say shorts, unfortunately, because
I've
I say unfortunately, but like
noticed.
that way is the content. It's TikTok, it's shorts, and try to just pull people from TikTok as well. Like when you do a podcast like this and you have good guests and whatever, and great conversation, good questions, like you'll have these moments, these like, and they're not gotcha moments. That's a clip moment.
Yeah,
and
it's a
like
cool
you
story.
just do, cool story. Take that, get really good at either editing it or like find the best way to deliver that to your YouTube shorts, and then at the end do like a quick little, hey, this is where you can find all this stuff, and then just keep producing the good content, man. I always say this on YouTube in general, where like the people are like, give me what's the number one tip for my YouTube channel, I was like, all right, well, take a look at your content for real, step back, like look at the best person on YouTube that's doing what you're doing, and then compare it to yours. Are you even close to that level of quality? Like, because the answer is usually no. If you're not doing well, right? To the people out there with like 10 subscribers, and they're like, what do I have to do to blow up? It's like, there aren't many underrated YouTubers that don't do well. Like if you're producing legitimate, fresh, fun, high quality, great content, the thumbnails are banging, the videos are great, and you're doing the same stuff that other people that are doing that are really good too. Like it's only a matter of time. Just keep doing it. Yeah. Make sure you're uploading your shorts and TikTok and stuff like that, and it'll happen.
And if it doesn't happen, we do Twitch. I just start riding your coattails and play video games with you.
Hell yeah. That's a way.
So earlier you were talking about games you used to play. Like I think Final Fantasy came up, and then Digimon.
Yeah,
of course. But I'm just like, we all played a lot of video games when we were kids, whether or not you continue doing it as an adult or you're into Twitch. Like for people listening to the show that are in this demo of like middle-aged men, we're a little bit older than you. Do you remember games where it just had your day by the balls when you were a kid? And like, do you wish any of them would be remade? Are there any that are ripe for a remake?
Oh yeah, that's a great question. I love that question, dude. Yeah. What game had my balls as a kid where I just couldn't get away?
Yeah, you just couldn't turn it off.
I couldn't, dude. There's a bunch. First off, like all of them. When I say that, I mean, obviously there were some more than others, but my goal was, what can I do around the house, like chore-wise, whatever, to earn more gaming time in my house. So that's kind of how I live my life. So that was like me going outside, walking the dogs, playing with the dogs outside, doing a bunch of chores. That earned me more game time, which was great. So I did all that shit. But the games that I was doing that for, one of them is my favorite of all time. It is not remade because like no one knows who owns the rights to the game anymore. But the game is called Legend of Legaia. It's actually this tattoo right here is one of the.
You gotta love that.
One of the main characters. It is one of the greatest video games of all time. It's an RPG with one of the most unique combat systems like ever. Amazing storyline, and it's never been remade. And it's like 25 years old. It's a very old game. PlayStation 1, dude. It was one disc, right? So like normally back in the day, like with this much content that they had, it was like 40 hours of gameplay to like start to finish. If you're just kind of exploring and running, it's like 40 hours back in the day, one disc.
Yeah, that disc was making noises in there. I was like,
it was burning.
It sounded like an air conditioning machine
in there.
Dope. Oh, so what about movies? Because I went to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles the other day with my kids, like a couple weeks ago.
Full circle, dude. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, and I was like, oh man, I remember the arcade game, the whole thing.
It's more like the side scroll one, right?
Yeah, the side scroll.
Yeah, you could play like you could have it was co-op too. Yeah, on Sega Genesis. I played that with my dad and my brothers.
Yeah,
pizza time.
So like they remade that into a good game. I know Twisted Metal is they're doing something with Twisted Metal.
Wow. There's a show. It's a show. They're doing like a live action or whatever.
Yeah,
that looks sick. Twisted Metal, by the way, my parents would never let me play that game because it was like
Scary.
it was aggressive, and like the clown car, the clown ice cream truck or whatever, that shit was freaking horrifying. But dude, that game was fun as hell. My neighbor had it, and I played it whenever we would go there. They would host like these random dinner parties, like the whole neighborhood's invited. I would go immediately into the living room and just be like, let's play this game.
Dude, yeah, and then there were all the horror games back in the day. What's the scariest game that ever got made that you're like, you would not, like, for me, I'll be sitting there stoned playing a game, and I don't want to be too stoned and play one of these Resident Evils and have a bunch of nightmares. What's the scariest game ever made?
The scariest game that I played that was ever made is, and I don't play a lot of them, but I would say Outlast. It was this, you're like a reporter with a camera, and you're just going into an insane asylum.
So it's like POV. Yeah, I'm seeing
POV.
Yeah, that's
and
spooky.
Like Silent Hill. Like
it was Silent Hill, by the way, was also a pretty messed up movie that kind of messed me up for a long time. As a kid.
I was a kid and I saw that game and I was like, nope, not playing anymore.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
Can you
explain something to me? Can you explain Mr. Beast to me? Because
Jimmy, dude,
like he seems great, and every time I watch his videos, I do it because I'm kind of like, I just am curious. What is he doing to tap into everybody's subconscious to make them want to, because obviously he has a lot of money where he can go do cool things and take his buddies to different mansions and have these experiential trips, but there's got to be something he's doing right. And you guys, I think, are maybe going to collaborate at some point, or maybe have. I don't know.
We have in the past, yeah.
Yeah, he's a legend, right? So what makes him so popular?
So, dude, first off, this guy's one of the biggest grinders in the world. I mean, I don't think anyone's putting as much time into their craft as Jimmy is. Like, he doesn't have a personal life right now. He hasn't for the last, 7 years. He's just been doing nothing but YouTube videos. I mean, he'll every time he hits, a new milestone, he'll post on Twitter and just give you an example of, his growth over the years. And, I mean, he had, 5 years where he was still uploading a shitload of content and was just no one was watching. And then I think what he did was, and this is honestly... he would just do the most random shit, like counting to 100,000.
He's currently got two people locked in a lightless room, right? For days.
I don't think you can even compare what he's doing now to what he did, because this dude has he's gonna be the first billionaire on YouTube.
Play money.
And it's seriously, he's got so much money right now, and he's reinvesting all of it. I think he'll say oh, I don't have any money. The dude is loaded if he wanted to be. But he takes everything and he's reinvested into his videos. With these fucking nutty ideas. And I think the number one thing, truly one of the most important things that he does and did was dude, he just throws money at people. And throws money in the video. And dude, first off, who doesn't want to win that money? Number one. So you have all these people who are signing up for it. And two, who doesn't want to watch someone who's going to win $50,000? Who's going to win $25,000? And he's really good at editing and making the videos. He it's a lot of cutting. It's very smart. It's it's very attractive to watch. And for people with low attention spans, it's right when you think you're about to lose, it's oh, here's a new scene, or it's this. And so, I mean, he's just got the algorithm
It's got to be tough for him coming from that production-minded background where he's making his own stuff. And for many of y'all probably, where you're used to being soup to nuts the guy, and then all of a sudden you have a staff, and then you got to delegate.
I think I think it's just, I don't even think he, has too much, delegate. I really just think he's guys, this is the video we're doing.
He's Peyton Manning when Peyton Manning got to Denver.
Videos.
He's hey, I am the GM, the head coach, and the quarterback. Okay,
That's pretty sick.
Squid Game.
So before we let you go, and I don't want to end on a negative note, but are there beefs in this industry? Are there rivals within the industry? And then how does that go? You wait till I see you at TwitchCon.
Yeah. So I don't
hit you with a fucking controller, bro.
I would say the biggest beef I had in the streaming industry was with Turner and Tfue, and he retired. But even leading up to his retirement, we had an adult conversation, and we're dude, this is so childish. Let's get over it and just be buds. So Turner and I are chill now. But even then, before that, me personally, I've never been in it's on site. If I ever see you at an event, we're gonna throw down. And I don't think anyone really is like that. I think it's a lot of the streaming industry mainly, and YouTube kind of as well. Besides YouTube boxing, which I also think is super blown out of proportion. blown out of proportion.
Oh boy.
It's mostly just shit talking. It's mostly just online bullshit. Like I don't think anyone ever like gets into legitimate scraps, even like at the high end, right? I think people are above it, and it would never, it would never really end well either.
Well, good. We don't do podcast beefs. We don't like beefs. By the way, the Mr. Beast throwing money at people model, I think we should try that. I think some of your money, we just throw it. And
there you go, dude.
And the last Detroit lead I have for you is this, and you probably have the way to get this information.
Okay.
But Eminem, I had one of my best buddies, James Hall, who used to play for the Lions, like when you were a kid. I don't know if you remember James.
When I was just still toddling around.
Really good defensive end, but he played in Detroit long enough that he kind of knew how the celebrity fans moved. And evidently, Eminem used to come to games and sit in the stands, and he'd wear a mask. Like he'd go in there and wear like a fucking Halloween mask or something so nobody could see who he was, and he'd just be sitting out there with the players. So I don't know if you could corroborate that rumor at any point, or it'd be a good lead for you to investigate. You can?
I definitely can figure that out.
100%.
Dude, I have so many contacts at Ford Field, and someone has to know.
Is it rumor or is it truth? And so I just want to leave you with that. Kyle, you got anything?
I just want to say thanks for coming on, man. It's been a lot of fun. I've enjoyed watching you, and we look to listen to you on your podcast, AFK with Ninja.
Yeah, any big guests coming soon?
I don't know if I can.
Okay, don't divulge.
I mean, I have a couple. but I don't know. I don't want to like spoil anything.
I know because you never know, they could cancel and shit.
Right. We have a couple stored too, and I also don't want to.
Okay, good.
Dude, guys, thank you so much for having me, man. I love the football talk. Great questions too. And just keep killing it. This has been a lot of fun.
Thanks for being here, and awesome, come back again, man. I'll be checking your stuff out, brother. It was good to see you again. Okay,
yeah,
dude.
absolutely, man. Take it easy, guys.
See ya.
See you, Ty.